You're also hosting NBC Sports Uncovered, a podcast, and the latest interview is with John Gruden. What did we unearth from the podcast with the new and improved 2.0 John Gruden?
For me, the most interesting thing was how emotional he can still get about thinking about when he was traded to Tampa. When the Raiders were able to say, "Yeah, we don't really need you anymore. We're going to trade you." It really, I was surprised at how much that still stings for him, even though he went to Tampa and beat the Raiders in the Super Bowl and really had the ultimate revenge. But it still is hard for him to talk about, and that was interesting to me because as hard as I tried to get more information from him, he would say it's too painful and it makes me emotional, and so I'm done talking about that.
But given what happened in that Super Bowl, it felt like they knew every play that Rich Gannon was calling. Does Gruden admit that now that they knew exactly what was going on?
He in a way, yeah. I mean, they acknowledge the fact that was one of those years where you didn't have that week break between the end of the season and the Super Bowl, or between the end of the playoffs and the Super Bowl that we have now, that sort of bye week. And that really didn't allow the Raiders to change much. And so, with that short week of notice or short week of practice and preparation, they weren't able to change much. And, Gruden knew a lot. And
Gruden loves to have some colorful language in practice on the sidelines. If you were going to, like, was there a moment where you went, oh, my God, you're on the sidelines and you hear a coach go off? Have you had one of those moments?
With Gruden?
Well, anybody, just where the language was a little more colorful than you would have thought.
Sure, I have. You know what's odd about my strongest memory of Gruden was early in my sidelining career. I was still at CBS, and it was the day after Christmas, and we were doing a game at Oakland. I don't even remember who the other team was, because on Christmas night, the night before the game, I had a surprise in that my then boyfriend, now husband, popped the question on Christmas night. So I went out the next day to that game just, like on a cloud, and Lance Barrow was the producer of the game, who kept saying, "Michele, hold the microphone in your left hand so everyone can see the ring." And and so then I just remember at halftime I was waiting for Gruden to come out, and Gruden sort of pointed to the ground like, "You come over here, I'm not coming to you." And so I went over and talked to him. But, I have a great relationship with Gruden because we worked on Monday Night Football on ESPN for a couple of years together. And but, I mean, every coach is different, and they've all got their thing. And some guys are really much more polite than you would expect, and some guys are really salty.
Who's really polite?
It's funny, Dan. It doesn't come to mind right away.
How does Belichick? Is he ever, expressive with you, effusive, where he just...
I wouldn't say effusive. I'm not sure that he's ever really effusive unless he's talking about a great story or something historical in football. But, look, I'm appreciative of any coach that's willing under those circumstances to talk to you. I do have a memory of him going into that last Super Bowl we covered in Arizona, and I remember they were heading into the locker room for the last time before kickoff, and I caught up with him, and I said, "Let me just ask you, do you get nervous before these big games?" And he goes, "Yeah, I do." And I thought that was interesting because he's a guy that would never really let on that things, bother him and or that he's anything but just feet on the ground and everything. So I thought that was really interesting. It's a game-to-game thing, Dan, and you just kind of go into each interview with these coaches, whether they're winning or losing, just bracing for the worst and trying not to ask a stupid question.